All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get going here. All right, you can see there Asian session overnight, quite strong. We're not obviously showing the S&P chart because all we had trading yesterday was futures during the 4th of July holiday, and obviously because of that, there's not a whole lot to report on in terms of trade action, except for in Asia. You can see there South Korea is the only market that was down overnight. I think it was down because Samsung missed earnings. Obviously, it's the biggest component of their index. Other than that, very strong night out of Asia again. You've got the yen back through 100. You've got Australia that's trading pretty well. Hong Kong that's very strong. So and China also has suspended the release of industry-specific data from a monthly survey of purchasing managers due to time constraints and analyzing the data. So that may be a little bit fishy, but maybe not. I don't know. I think it's important. What we saw out of the central banks yesterday obviously dominated the markets. We had two things, and basically it really seems like that they were kind of talking before the announcements, because they both came out with something very similar. Europe saying that Europe starting to give forward guidance on rates in terms of the duration of rates. They said yesterday that they were going to be low for an extended period of time, kind of following the footsteps of what the Fed's been doing now for a couple of years. And then you had the BOE as well, Mark Carney's first BOE meeting, that said that that he gave forward guidance that they might give forward guidance, which is quite ridiculous. But anyway, that really got markets excited. You saw the pound kind of start to tank on the back of that. You saw the euro tank on the back of that versus the dollar. And obviously, like we said, this is kind of, maybe they're getting it's just a signal that they may be looking a little bit more dovish. Obviously Europe also said that, or the ECB said that inflation wasn't going to be an issue anytime soon. So just important to note. Okay, today we've got on Monday, one stock, one ex-div. That's Tungart, so today's last day to trade. Let's keep that in mind, 1 Rand 90. We've got a little bit of market data out today, but we do have the big one here, which is U.S. non-farm payrolls. That's the key, 165,000 expected. So this is going to be, another interesting day. You've got going to have very light volumes again today. I think the U.S. again is a half a day, is it not? Is it a full day? Okay, full day today in the States. But there's going to be, I can tell you firsthand that there'll be very few people in there trading today. It's a big holiday weekend, and it'll be really light volume. So just be careful. We've got big data today, followed by big data yesterday, and just very few people to trade it. So anything can happen in the market today. Just tread carefully, tread lightly on the day. Okay, let's jump into the maps real quick. First one I'll have a look at here is the FTSE. The FTSE, you can see yesterday, this huge green candle that we saw yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, it was the best day since 2011, as reported to me by Neil, Big Trader Brody. And you can see here that we really ripped through kind of a little bit of a flag pattern here. The market gave us kind of a false break to the downside. We managed to push up. We consolidated for a couple days, and then yesterday absolutely ripped higher. So I think it's important that we're able to kind of to put in this kind of a move to the upside, a significant move like that. That's a big statement from the BOE. So I think the FTSE could have some more room left to the upside, in the next few sessions. We'll keep monitoring that. Another one that I wanted to show locally is Bidvest. What I'm going to do is I'll just zoom in from here so that we can have a look at the inverse head and shoulder setup that is right here. It's kind of a here we go. Inverse head and shoulder setup that really looks like it's close to breaking out. You can see here. So we trade a little bit higher today, I'd say above 247. Then we're kind of breaking to the upside on the inverse head and shoulder, which could take us to previous highs on a closing basis, which are up here at 263. So I think there's room to the upside here in Bidvest if we do that. Now let's look a little bit. Let's back out here. And if you go longer term, then we've kind of got a head and shoulder pattern. potentially forming. So I think this is the key level that we're going to watch. These two closes here, which is at 248. So that's the level I would wait. If we get above 248, I think you can buy this thing. If it gets above there and can hold there for 20 minutes, half an hour above 248, especially if it closes above 248, I think we'll trade back to the highs. I wouldn't jump on this, but until it gets above the shoulder line, from the left side in the near term, because I do like the pattern in the short term, and we are in a longer term uptrend, so I do think that this is probably going to move higher. If anything, the probabilities are higher, but let's just wait till above 248 if you want to jump on that bandwagon. All right. First trend, we showed this yesterday in the kind of descending, ascending wedge pattern. We obviously didn't drop it yesterday. What's interesting is we came down and we literally tested right at this support where we broke above the other, the bounce of mid-June here at 220. Came down, tested it basically exactly, and made a nice reversal off of the top of that. I think we could easily get up here and test our resistance at 229.90, 29.90 and 29.95, touch shy of $30 there. That's where I think that this thing can probably get to over the next session or two, provided we hold that 28.20. All right. Look at Naspers, which we showed yesterday, and we talked about the importance at 45, above 45. No, sorry, it was above 47. Let me just zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see it better. Above 46. We got above that nicely, and you can see here we tested right at 760. I know we traded at it on the nose because I actually decided I was going to be clever and try to buy it there before it broke out, and that didn't work out for me. But you can see here we literally traded at 760, which is previous closing highs on the nose. And I think that today we could easily get a push. We only have to go a couple bucks. If it gets above the 760 level, I mean, it could be a party here. This thing really has a lot of potentially a hell of a lot of room to the upside, and definitely through 800. I think if we get a nice close above 760 today. So don't be trying to short that thing, pick tops on that thing. If we trade through 760, there's only one way to be playing it, and that's on the long side. Okay, MTN, we're going to go all the way back to a 10-year chart here on MTN. The reason why we're going to show this is just for kind of guidance on what we're going to look at going forward. You can see here the reason why we like it is because of all the consolidation that we saw here on this major breakout that happened last year. In the middle of June. So this is almost a year ago when we broke out really of this significant little wedge pattern in MTN. That's, remember, we're looking at a 10-year chart. Now let's shorten this up a little bit. And you can see here, you got to remember this is 10 years, so we'll draw it from the wicks rather than from the closes, because they probably are closes. And you can see there we're kind of making a little inverse continuation pattern, or maybe even a little cup and handle here, and we really have potential to go quite a bit higher. I would say from on the breakout here from about 157 at the bottom of the range to call it 187. So if we get north of 187 on MTN, I don't think that this trend's going to stop until we get well north of 200. So same sort of thing. The reason why I'm pointing this out is I think we got to be the chart here, the pattern here is still really bullish. You got to be really careful shorting this thing. If we get to the upside, I think this thing definitely is going to trade to 200 this year. Unless there's some negative news specific to the stock. Okay, now let's look at breweries here as well. Just want to reiterate this level that we've talked about so many times. You can see there, we know where it is. It's right here at 494. And you can see yesterday we kind of got up. We basically tested it on the wick. If we zoom forward, you can see there we more or less got up there and tested. And I think today we're probably going to give it a proper test. So if we get through there, I think we definitely test up to somewhere up here where we would meet at this flag pattern, which is north of 500. So we were talking about all the way up at 508, 509, somewhere in that area. If we get above 494, I think you can buy this thing at least until that level. All right, and the last one we're going to show is Standard and Charter on the LSE. Same sort of thing. Some of these other patterns you can really see nice inverse head and shoulder pattern here. Shoulder, shoulder, and head. You can see a nice breakout there above the shoulder line, above the neckline. And so I think we can move in the near term. I think we can get up significantly higher, possibly 50 or 60p. On a 14 rand stock, it's not so bad. Yeah, so I would say the near-term target would be at least to complete this little move up to where there's some resistance around 1536, which you could get there quite quickly. And that's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.